Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. So I have actually decided to take the summer off. Now you might be listening to this a little later. However, over the next 10 weeks, I'm bringing you content and things I've been sharing in different outlets. So it's been a few different things. I want to take some time off to really be with my kids. Also, the camp that I usually have my kids in a couple times a week just didn't have space for me this year. So I kind of had to rearrange my summer, and I've decided to just be with them this summer and spend time with them because, they're only this young for like now. So I have kind of reshifted things, and this is just a time for me to take a break. However, I didn't want to leave you hanging. It was a really, really big decision for me to kind of go and take a break. I usually bring you episodes every week, and that's a thing I love to do to make sure that I'm there for you. And so I'm not fully gone. I'm just sharing things that I've talked about in the past that I haven't talked about here necessarily. So good, juicy, amazing stuff. Just I've shared it elsewhere, and now I'm going to bring it here to you. So it's actually going to be over the next 9 weeks. There'll be episodes for my Wow Wednesdays that I did a few years ago. And the last one, it will be an episode from a coffee chat that I did. It was on Facebook Live years ago as well. So like I said, good, juicy, awesome stuff. And I just wanted to share it with you here. So get comfortable and enjoy. If you missed last week, I just started Wow Wednesdays, which is free online training, and it's the WOW stands for Women's Online Wisdom. So today we're going to get back to the two best friends that I was talking, or maybe let's not call them best friends yet. I might not be there yet. My two twin friends that I introduced you to last week, fear and failure. So today we're going to just talk about the one and get to know them a little bit better, because I have a feeling you know them as much as I do. So today, let's talk more about fear. So when I was going through for my coaching training, I learned an acronym for fear, and it really helped me put into the motion the steps I needed to do to move forward in my business. Well, and even before my business, to finish school, because with that I had some training I had to do. So to put all the coaching training I did into action, that took some courage. So I had to move through fear. So the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. And I really love that. And it really worked for me in the moment. The other thing I learned is if I wasn't afraid, what would I do? Or if I wasn't afraid, what would I do? Or I think it might even be like fear, failure. What would it do? So that actually puts both twins together. So those were things that really helped me at the beginning. However, later on, about a year ago or so, I found a new acronym for fear, and I actually embraced it even more. It just found me in the right place, the right time and place. Is face everything and rise. So you can take whichever one works for you at the time. And when you feel fear, think about like face everything and rise. That kind of like empowers you to, put your power stance on and just, go do it. Or false evidence appearing real. Because how many of us have feared something that hasn't even happened? We have conversations in our head with other people before we even have them with that person. And we have all this fear and anxiety come up about something that we don't even know if they'll say or not. So a lot of the time we fear things that haven't happened. Like my very first coaching call I ever did, I was so nervous. I almost threw up. And it's like face the fear and do it anyways. And one of the best ways to make fear your friend is to just take action. Feel the fear and do it anyways. So just be mindful of where fear is showing up in your life and where it's letting you play small. There was a line in a book I read, And it pretty much brought tears to my eyes when I read it. And it's, you never get stronger if you only do easy things. I almost started crying because my soul's like, right, I've been in my comfort zone for a while again. It was a great reminder. You don't get stronger if it's like working out. You're lifting, let's say you start with 5-pound weights and you're lifting you keep doing that. And eventually you're not even going to get sore after that workout. You're going to need to up the weight or up the repetition, like one or the other, add weight or do more repetition. So it's about expanding and growing. And when you look at fear that way, where it's when you step out of your comfort zone and you don't look at it as fear, as you look at it as growing and really expanding your world and your knowledge and just who you are, it can be really powerful. So face everything and rise is so powerful because it really is like, okay. So last week I asked you to like write down things that you feared and what you did, what you feared and you did anyways. What showed up for that, for you for there? Was it surprising? Or was it like, oh no, like maybe you haven't really done anything past your fear? And that's okay. There's no judging here. Remember, Women's Online Wisdom. It's here to inspire and wow you so you can grab your own inner wisdom. Maybe you're watching this right now and like your soul's just like, I need to do something to get through my fear. Maybe it's fear of speaking, I know a lot of people, entrepreneurs, once Facebook Live came out, they were very afraid to go on Facebook, and it can be very vulnerable, or sharing your story, your ideas, any of those things. But the moment you take that first step, if it's right, like I'm not saying go and do things that are against who you are. This isn't about like, I don't know, like doing something crazy just because your friends doing, peer pressure. I'm not talking about peer pressure or anything. I'm talking about listening to what your inner being wants and going after it with loving action and just embrace the process. So what does that look like? It can be small things. The biggest stepping stones for me for fear, like I said, I read that line about, you don't get stronger. I've been stepping out of my comfort zone a lot for business, but not maybe personal. I'm working on a pretty big personal goal soon. It just came up and my heart let me know it's there. So I don't really want to share it yet. Heck, why not share it? It's about moving. My husband and I have always talked about moving somewhere else, and the fear of being away from family, what's known, familiar. I've always lived in this area, and family's here and my friends, and my heart has always wanted to be in a different part of this country. So we are working on actually making that happen. So I don't know when, I don't know how, but it's about figuring out the steps to do it, right? So eventually it's going to be like taking the first action. And the first action actually was telling my husband, seeing if he was on the same page with me. And now I've just told you, and I had like butterflies in my stomach. But this dream, this goal makes me smile, makes me so happy and excited. So if you have one of those, it's about taking the action. So it's very new. This is a very new goal for me. And it's about starting to take action steps towards it. Like, how do I make it happen is one of the ones. So it's taking small action steps towards it. But another one for me is business. When I first started, and I was collaborating with other people, reaching out and asking to, interview them or to be interviewed by people. At first I was so nervous, like the butterflies. And like I said, my first coaching call, I almost threw up. But after I got off that first call with that coaching person, like when I had my first coaching client and we were done, the love, the amazingness that I felt was far greater, far more amazing than the fear I felt before. And you don't know what it's going to feel like until you move through it. So it's really taking loving action towards what you most want. Not what somebody else wants for you, but what you want for you. So lovingly take action, and that's how you rise above fear or go through fear, because you're going to feel it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but the things that are uncomfortable are what make us us and like help us grow. Think about anything. Let's go back to like, I help a lot of mamas. That's my big focus, is helping moms. So let's go from a mom perspective. And before you're a mom, did you know what it felt like to go through labor or to carry a baby inside of you for like 9 months? Nursing, changing diapers, like maybe changing diapers is something you've done before because you can help other people, but some of those things never happened. But for me, I know I wanted to be a mom so bad. I really didn't want to go through the labor part, but I did. Sometimes our goals and our dreams are so much bigger than our fear. And that's what helps us get through that fear. The unknown of what it feels like through labor. For nursing, am I going to be a good nurse? Or am I going to be a good mom? Think about any job you started. It could have been very nervous your first day. And then think like a week, a month, years later, how do you feel now? I look back at videos I did first online when I first started my business, and wow, I needed everything to be perfect. I needed to be perfect. And I obviously wasn't. And the thing is, life isn't perfect. But when you embrace it and you do the things you love, wow, does it feel amazing. So today, think about something that you've been putting off because fear has been getting in your way. And go take one little action. Because sometimes we get overwhelmed and we have too many, like A to B is just like actually the whole alphabet. So you gotta break it down. One step at a time. Just take one small action plan. So if it is, maybe you want to start a business, what is it you want to do? Just start doing the action. Like, what is it? And then start like, do you want a course, or do you just need to start something? Maybe it's starting a Facebook page then for that. It doesn't have to cost you any money, just one step at a time. Today, go do it right now. I hope you have a beautiful day. And next week, we're going to go and meet failure a little bit better. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I will be back on September 10th with all new episodes of Loving Me, Myself, and Life. So until then, relax, enjoy, keep listening. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so, so very much. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.